Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. Wow, 2-0. Yes, City have again returned back from Spurs home stadium without scoring a goal. This has happened like, what, in 3 games now? I mean, 2-0. It's not the defeat that is bothering me. It's fine. We lost here many times, but still we have managed to win titles. It's not the defeat that is bothering me. The thing is the manner of the defeat. I mean, the way we looked so much ragged, the way we looked so much toothless in the second half. What were you doing? Not just in the second half, even in the first half as well. We were just playing beautiful football. We were just painting the entire canvas so beautifully. And then what we do? We are doing things like how Arsenal used to do in the past. We literally wanted to walk the ball into the goal. We wanted to have that complete total football, which is not possible against a Mourinho low block 4-4-2. Mourinho is a master at this. There's no one better than Mourinho in playing this way. And what we do, we play right into his hands. We slow it down. As soon as Ferran Torres receives the ball in the wing, what do we do? Again, he goes back to Bernardo Silva. Riyad Mahrez, what does he do? He tries to chop in on his left foot, right foot. He dances a bit. I don't know how is he able to find so much time in that low congested box. I don't know. He does all that and does nothing. Again goes back, or again hits it off a Spurs player to send it out of play. What is this? It's not new for City. It's not new for Pep Guardiola. In his 12-13 years as a manager, he has faced low block so many times. He has faced Mourinho's low block. When Mourinho was managing prime Real Madrid with defenders who are at a far 100 times a greater stature than the defenders at Spurs. Pep has broken it down many times. We have broken it down in the last 3-4 years many times. This is not new to us. And what is happening? We are not playing that fast 1-2 passes in the midfield. We are slowing it down as soon as it comes to the final third. Is it the lack of ideas? Is it that Kevin De Bruyne has burnt out? I mean, De Bruyne has put in beautiful balls, I would say. What is it? Is Bernardo Silva better off in the right wing than in the midfield? Is he the one who's slowing it down? I mean, one thing I should say is I noticed that there are not many options. Yes, Jesus is trying to make runs behind. Other than that, nothing. Ferran Torres, young boy, all credit to him. He has done nothing wrong. It might have been the instructions from the manager or whatever. He's not making runs in behind at all. And Riyad Mahrez, he's instead of making runs in behind, he's making runs towards his own goal, to collect the ball so that he can show off all of his skills and all of that. Where will the creativity, where will the killer instinct come from? Where will that ruthlessness to, pick out a low block, pick out a compact block when the opposition is like all the 10 players of the opposition are behind the ball? Someone like a Harry Kane is almost dropping into a CDM position to defend. How do you break that block down when two of your prime wingers are almost in the midfield holding the width? No one is making the runs behind. At City's prime, when Sterling, Aguero and Sane used to play, Sane and David Silva in that left channel, always Sane used to make that runs in behind and David Silva used to pass the ball to him. It would stretch the opposition's defense onto the left side. But here, nothing. Very comfortable. Ferran Torres does nothing. Raheem Sterling, he came on at the end, but again, 15-20 minutes to go, couldn't impact the game at all. Again, the same problem. They are not making runs in behind. They're trying to play too many cute 1-2s, especially between the winger and the midfielder. I mean, Leroy Sané and David Silva, I always keep referring back to that 2017-2018 season, because that is when City were faced with low blocks every time against every team almost. And they managed to break them down. How? David Silva, Leroy Sané. Silva used to receive the ball. Sane just used to make the run. He didn't think twice. Silva, ball into Sane, and that's it. Square it to Sterling, goal. Winger to winger goals is the speciality of Pep Guardiola, right from his Bayern Munich, Barcelona days. But here, how many winger to winger goals have we seen this season? Nothing. It looks as if in the City team, everyone wants to do individual skills. Everyone wants to show off show off all of their skills. Jesus is doing the same. I mean, no criticism on him, but Jesus is doing the same. Riyad Mahrez always does the same. Ferran Torres tried to do everything on his own. Kevin De Bruyne was not having any outlet to pass to the attackers. He was looking to shoot himself. It looks as if in both the boxes we have got better in the defensive box, although we have let in 2 goals, but it's not because of the defenders that we have let in two goals. I'll come back to that later. But in especially in the attacking box, nothing, no ideas. Jesus receives the ball and he passes it backwards to Bernardo Silva. What the hell? When you move the ball so slowly, I mean, the opposition defenders can go have a walk back in the park and again return back and set up their compact block. That much space you're giving the defenders. And I thought one thing today, Rodri was the reason why those goals went in. Harry Kane, Rodri was not at all controlling Harry Kane. The job Harry Kane was doing in the midfield was a tactical job. But I'm sure if Fernandinho would have been there, Harry Kane would not have been able to do that. What is the one way to score against City? Okay, you can sit in a low block. That's fine. Match might end 0-0. But team sitting in a low block, there's only one way out for them to score against City, which is bypass City's midfield. Who has the strength and the guts and the mind in Spurs team to bypass City's midfield? It's only Harry Kane. And you have left him as free as ever. You have left him as free to do anything. I don't know what Rodri was doing. He went so pedestrian, not marking Harry Kane. I won't say man marking, at least do shadow marking of Harry Kane, nothing. And because of that, if you see the first goal, a centre back gets drawn towards Harry Kane, and Son makes that run. Cancelo can't do anything. He's caught out. The same thing has happened with the second goal as well. There needs to be someone who does a job in there, and Fernandinho used to do that job in 2017-18 in City's prime years under Pep Guardiola. Now no one's doing that job. Yes, the dirty job of making those fouls. How many yellow cards did Rodri get in this match? He didn't get single yellow card. How many matches do you see Fernandinho go without getting a yellow card? He gets at least 1 in 2 matches easily. Because he does the dirty work, he mops up everything, he breaks the play. How many fouls did you see Rodri attempting on Harry Kane? At least attempting, try, have that instinct. Nothing. He left him free. He left him free to do anything. That was the main reason we allowed Spurs to play through the midfield. Let us not push this on Ederson and say, okay, Ederson shouldn't have come out for the first goal, or the City's defending was not good. Laporte shouldn't have been drawn to Harry Kane. He should have just stayed backwards with Son. The experienced centre back, Laporte, one of the best centre backs in the Premier League. No, none of that nonsense. We need to hear why Rodri is not doing that job on Harry Kane. It's Rodri's job. If Rodri would have done that job, what would have happened? Laporte would have stayed all the way with Son or that attacker on that side, and these goals wouldn't have happened. It's not because of Ederson. It's because of the way we are letting opposition teams play through our midfield. When we lose the ball, there was a period when we couldn't get the ball of Spurs for 1 minute, more than a minute. Pep Guardiola, even in his wildest nightmares, would never have imagined this. His team is not able to win the ball back. Why? He keeps on practicing them rondos and all of those things. Why? You need to win the ball back. See, City's system collapses if they don't win the ball back quickly. There's that 5-second rule, 10-second rule. No, we are not winning the ball back very quickly. And then Rodri, our CDM, is not able to do that job on the opposition's creative player, in this case Harry Kane, and those are the reasons why we are losing. It's not the first time this has happened today. Against Leicester, the same thing has happened, and now it's the same template. What's the difference between Leicester and this? There's only one difference. Both of them played the same 4-4-2 compact block. Only one difference here. Harry Kane alone played it through. There, Leicester had more creative players. You had a Harvey Barnes. You had a Yuri Tielemans. You had all of those players who played the ball through. That was the only difference. And again, my worries. We discussed after that Leicester game, and again I'm discussing it now. Has this become a template to beat Pep Guardiola? Pep Guardiola's teams have played so many times against rigid 4-4-2 systems when they were at Barcelona, when they were at Bayern Munich, against teams for much higher caliber defenders, higher caliber mentality than this Spurs team. But no, we can't allow this to become a template. If this becomes a template, tomorrow every team will come and sit. Just imagine how Wolves will come and sit in the return fixture. Let's imagine. I mean, Man United always do sit and hit us on the counter. If this becomes a template, then it will become really hard for us to win games against top six. Okay, small teams we can win with an individual piece of skill. Mahrez will do some magic and all of that, but that does not win you titles. What wins you titles is, how against big teams, how can you break down these low compact blocks? How can you break down the big teams when they're defending with much better quality of defenders? Pep Guardiola really has a lot of thinking to do. Okay, he has signed a 2-year deal and he's extended his stay until 2023, which is good news. But then, if I look at today's team, the defense was the best defense we have, I would say. Even if it's a Champions League final, this is the best defense that City has now. Cancelo on the left, Walker on the right. Ederson was really good. Rodri, yes, he has done many mistakes. He has to start learning. Might be Fernandinho I would play, but then Rodri is the best. What's wrong with today's team? We didn't have only Foden, and we didn't have only Sterling. That's all. Yes, Aguero age is getting on with him, but other than these two players, what's wrong with today's team? It's pretty much our best team. No excuses in that. Yes, we had more ball than Spurs. Yes, we had more shots. I think we had 15 shots to 3 or 4 shots of Spurs. Yes, we dominated, but then what we didn't dominate is the most important stat on the top left corner. Goal scored. 0 goals. I just hope that Pep really works out something, and that something is just bench Riyad Mahrez. The thing is, this is not me just going in on Riyad Mahrez, but the thing is that there just seems to be that something, especially playing against a low block with Riyad Mahrez, is seeming to really slow the play down. I mean, just inject the pace, drop Riyad Mahrez for me, I would say. Just put a Ferran Torres on that side. See, because of Riyad Mahrez playing, Ferran Torres is having to play on his wrong side. I mean, it's all messing it up a bit. Just I think Pep should just look to play this. He should just throw the jugular Torres, Sterling, Jesus as his front three. That's all. In the midfield, I don't care. De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, they can keep rotating. But these front three, the problem is the front three are not ruthless enough. That is the problem we are having. I mean, it's not a big problem. I mean, I was just seeing Michael Owen, for example, saying that Pep Guardiola's teams are not scoring goals, and that seems to be a problem, and all of that sort of a stuff. That is fine. I'm not worried about them not scoring goals. I'm worried about them not taking on fullbacks. How many times has Ferran Torres taken on fullbacks today? How many times has Riyad Mahrez taken on fullbacks today? I'm not telling his tricks and flicks and all. Just be direct. Just take the ball and go into the box. Even if you lose the ball, I don't care. How many times have they done that today? I can't remember. I think 1 or 2 times at the most. See, if you don't do that against a low block, how will you cause confusion in them? How will you cause chaos in them? When you play against a low block, gaps don't appear. You need to, your wingers need to drive into them. Your wingers need to create that sense of urgency in them. They need to feel insecure. Today Spurs were very, very secure. How many blocks they were doing? Generally, defenders are not secure doing blocks because they think that if I block, it might deflect and go into the goal. But no, they were Eric Dyer. I think he himself did 3 or 4 blocks. They were two. They were really so much comfortable doing this, and City was just playing it. It's so much low pace. The pace was really very, very less that it didn't matter. The defenders could have as well bought on the beds and pillows and have a nap, and still City could not have scored the goal. That's how slow we played. It looked lethargic. No excuses again. The international break and all of the thrash. No excuses at all. If we had international break, even they had international break, there seems to be something fundamentally wrong in the way we win the ball back in the midfield. That is what I keep on repeating, because City seem to be too much, concerned about preventing that counter attack. City's wingers don't play as high as they normally do. They're holding the width, but they're not going as high. And in that, I can see that there's some concern in their mind of the counter attack rather than them attacking. City is a team which should have the mentality that if the opposition score three, we score seven. We trust our defenders. We trust our centre backs to do the job, to prevent counter attacks. We don't care. That's how at least the front five of City should have the mentality. But no, we are too much conservative. We are too much concerned. This is not the Pep Guardiola team. This is not the team that Pep has trained for the last 3-4 years. There needs to be some serious decisions made. I know this is not urgency. This is not a match that, what I thought is, this is not a match that if we lose, the title is not ours. No. But this is a match that if we don't learn the lessons out of this, then further down the line, especially in the month of December, January, February, we might lose a title then. And everything will point down to this match. Have we learned the lessons? Because again, in the return leg, Leicester will come with the same approach. Spurs will come with the same approach. All the other teams, United, are always having the same approach against City. Even Arsenal will come with the same approach. That's the way they have beaten us in the FA Cup. So I think that it is important that Pep Guardiola works out that thing. Why his attackers are not taking on the defenders? Why they're not dribbling? And how can City win the ball back very quickly in the midfield? That 5-second rule, that is really hurting City. Something needs to change. There needs to be a reaction, and I think that we'll get it in the Champions League match, and then so on. So what I feel is we should take this match as just a starting point. From today, from the end of this match, our season will begin. Let's see how we go on from here. What we do from this match, just leave the result of this match aside. Yes, we have lost 3 points, but whatever we do after this match to the end of the season is what will matter to the title. Yes, City have lost many points. We are 8 points away from the top, who are Spurs, and with a game in hand, but that doesn't bother me. I'm confident that City will rake up the points and will cover the gap. But no, what I'm concerned about is we will not learn the lessons from this game. This thing will again repeat. I don't want Spurs again coming to the Etihad and playing like this and taking away even a point. Leicester coming and doing the same. No, let us not be under a false illusion or let a false dawn draw on us. No, we have been outplayed completely in this match. We were not good enough in this match, not even good enough to make inroads into Spurs goal, not even good enough to have a glimpse of the Spurs goal. Let us keep that in mind and let us work out. Yeah, I do think that Mahrez needs to be left out, and it should be Ferran Torres and Raheem Sterling, and they should be given the license to just go and attack, just have fun, just dribble, just feel that it's your day out. That is what is lacking in City. If I see today, nothing wrong with the way we played. We're passing well. Okay, in the second half, the passes heads drop, but that's fine. That can happen when you're doing it so much against a low block. But then we were passing well. The one thing that we lacked was that movement in behind and the dribbling by the wingers. And if we can inculcate that into the game, everything will be all right. Everything will be really good. We can see the City of old. I think Pep needs to give that confidence to his wingers. Let us discuss about the performances of the players. I'll start from Ederson first. If you ask me about Ederson, I would say Ederson didn't have much to do apart from the 2 goals, I would say. And people are thinking that the first goal was the mistake of Ederson. However, I think I've always thought the first goal was the mistake of Rodri, not marking Kane there. You could point out to me that okay, Laporte should have stayed with Son or things like that. But what is the source of the attack? Fernandinho would never have let this happen. Rodri not doing his job on Kane is what has brought about the goal, and Ederson was well within his rights. When a goalkeeper rushes out, sometimes the attacker can be sometimes there can be a cause of confusion in the mind of the attacker. So, but then Son finished very well. Yes, you could argue that the defender was taking Son away from the goal, putting him on his weaker foot. But then that's Ederson's style. Ederson lives by the sword and he perishes by the sword. You can expect these kind of mistakes from Ederson. Sometimes he'll pass the ball straight into the opposition fullback, and he'll look like a outright prat. He'll look like an idiot, but then that's fine. That's his style. You should remember that Ederson also saved a goal by coming out to Son. So that is Ederson's style. I would give him a 7 in this match. Not his mistake that Rodri didn't do the job. Kyle Walker, Kyle Walker, I would say was really good defensively, looked as solid as ever. But attacking, there were no ideas for him. There were no ideas for him where to put the ball. So I would give Kyle Walker a 6. Count in years here. Rodri's mistake can't be an excuse for Ederson's decision making. Just thought he could have gone back for that first goal. I'll just come on to that Countenia when we discuss about Rodri, the rating for Rodri. Ruben Diaz, and Aymeric Laporte. I thought their passing was excellent. They shifted the ball well out wide, which I thought was lacking in the previous matches. They were like passing the ball. They were like switching the ball really well to both the wingers. That was good. It was only that our wingers were not courageous enough to go on and take on Aurier and Regulion and dribble through them. So that's not their mistake. I would give them a rating of 8, not less than that. Spurs scored 2 goals, but then you're thinking this guy is giving 8 because it's not their mistake. I'll come to the culprit whose mistake it is, and that's Rodri. Everyone knows it. I think Cancelo had a poor game by his attacking standards, but then again, there was no outlet to attack. The two wingers were too passive out there, and when you're playing against a low block and when your two wingers are passive, your fullbacks can't do anything because again at the back of the minds of the fullbacks that counter attack is always ringing. But here in this game, it seems even at the back of Mahrez and Torres also that counter attack was ringing, and they too didn't play high enough. They played wide enough, but they didn't play high enough. So Cancelo gets a 6 in this match because his attacking was just not good enough in this match. He got chances to cross a bit, but he didn't cross well at all. He put a couple of balls out. His crossing was well below the standard, and he had a couple of but even they were well below the standards. Now let us come to your question, Kamdenia. Rodri's mistake can't be an excuse, but why? When I think of Ederson, that's a style of play. In a match, how can you tell the goalkeeper whose position is always high? The way City play, passing out from the back high line, Ederson needs to maintain that position. So he's a goalkeeper who plays with that high position, who thinks that the best way of me saving one-on-ones is running right into the face of the attacker. So that's his style. And he has done really well. 90% of the times he makes saves with that style. Today was the game he didn't make. He didn't make a save. Yes, you could tell that he should have gone back. He could have had a good chance. I think more than for the first goal. For the second goal, he should have really stayed on his near post, because Ederson stays back for the second goal. Leselcho never scores that second goal because the angle would have proved far more difficult for him. Yes, for the second goal, if you ask me, yes, I agree. Ederson should have stayed back because De Bruyne was already there. But for the first goal, Son was racing in. Son would have anyway scored, I would think. And this was the best chance which I think Ederson had to save it. So that was the thing. But then, yes, you could argue that he should have stayed back. He should have come forward. But for the second goal, I strongly feel that Ederson should have stayed back, and the angle would have been impossible for Leselcho to score for the second goal. Now let us come to Kevin De Bruyne. KDB was again excellent today, I would say, putting some dangerous balls. Ruben Diaz had to score from a ball right at the end. He shot directly at the keeper. Rodri again shot directly at Hugo Lloris, I think in the 15th or 20th minute. De Bruyne put in 3 or 4 dangerous chances, which if City would have taken, it would have been 3-0, 4-0 easily. I mean, most of them were from set pieces and all, but then, against the low block, these are the kind of situations you need to exploit as well. You can't always think that I'll be with a walking stick and still find goals. I'll play the game at the pace of a snail. with the help of a walking stick and then score goals. No, there were no channels to exploit today. Spurs cut off all the channels. The only way was defenders courageously taking on the fullbacks or from the set pieces. That was the only way City could have scored today. So KDB was excellent today. Bernardo Silva was again, he tried to play that cute 1-2s with Ferran Torres, but the problem here was Ferran Torres was always going back to Bernardo Silva and Bernardo Silva to Ferran Torres. Neither of them had the courage to just dash into the box. Just take on Regulion, take on Aurier, draw a foul from him. We know how rash Aurier is. Nothing. We did not even let Aurier make a single tackle inside the box. I mean, it seems that Aurier was so much disciplined in this game. No, Aurier was as rash as ever. It's just that we didn't, we didn't let Aurier take that decision. We never raced into the box, which was one of the key features today, which of City's game. That's what let City down. Actually, we didn't race into the box, and Bernardo Silva, it always seemed that he wanted to play 1-2s with Phil Foden rather than put that ball over the top. Ferran Torres, I'm sorry, put that ball over the top. Torres races out and he passes it to the opposite winger. Nothing. Bernardo Silva did nothing of that today. So I would give Bernardo Silva a 5. I would say it was poor from Bernardo Silva because he had the chance. City had joy down that side, but he played it really very slowly. I mean, there's an other comment. Gokul is here. Is Aguero's absence costing City? Is Jose better than Pep? Is Aguero's absence costing City? I don't think so, because Gabriel Jesus, he provides, he drops back in more, he provides more of that, pressing energy to City. So and Gabriel Jesus has been in fine goal scoring form as well. Today, it was unfortunate that it hit his arm and it got chopped off. But then Gabriel Jesus has been really good for City. He is not the reason why City is not scoring goals. Again, like I said, the reason is our wingers are not courageous enough. And against a low block, the wingers maintaining the width, the wingers which means the midfielders have the space to run into the channels and exploit and wingers dribbling at the opposition fullbacks. None of that is happening. What could Aguero have done? Aguero would not have done any better than Jesus. I think at least Jesus held the ball up well. Aguero would not have done that as well. So I don't think Aguero's absence is costing City at all. Now the second question is interesting. Is Jose better than Pep? I mean, this game for me was not a game between two teams. It was a game between two mentalities. It was a game between two philosophies. It was a game between two people who have two very different ways of playing, but both of them have been really successful. Jose and Pep, this is something, not a master stroke by Jose. Jose Mourinho in his Real Madrid days as well has played a lot with this 4-4-2 compact block against the prime Barcelona and all of Pep's prime teams. But today, Pep got beaten not by Jose, but by the fact that Rodri didn't do his job well on Harry Kane. It's as simple as that. I don't know whether it was a tactical thing which Pep missed or something. I do not know that. But then today's game was decided just by the simple fact that Harry Kane was afforded so much time and space in the midfield. You remove Harry Kane out of the Spurs side and the match would have ended 0-0 or with City winning. There was no way that Spurs score goals without Harry Kane doing that job in the midfield. So this defeat doesn't mean that Jose is better than Pep and all of that. Pep is, if you ask me my personal opinion, in their own ways, in their own style of play, both are better. Pep is the best manager in attacking style of play, that philosophy, and Jose is better in that defensive style of play, in that sort of philosophy, with the teams sitting back in a low compact block. Now, if you ask me who is better, then I should answer which philosophy is better. What do you think? If you, for me, I love the attacking philosophy as well. So So my answer would be Pep is better. But then if you ask a person who loves the defensive philosophy, if you ask a Diego Simeone, if you ask someone who loves to hit, who loves counter attacks, who loves to hit teams on the break, Jose's philosophy is the perfect. So both are better in their own philosophies. Just a question of your personal preference, which philosophy you want to play. So that question is, there's no answer to that question. Both are good, both are excellent, both are equally good for me in their own ways. They are so unique, and that's what makes them the best managers in the world, the two best managers in the world. They don't follow anyone's philosophy. They have paved an own path, the path that was not walked before by anyone. So that's respect to both of them. That's a really good question. Thanks for the question, Gokul. It was a it was a fantastic question, I would say. So I think going forward, City, there's the Champions League game coming, I think in 2 days, and it it remains to be seen how City, what kind of lessons do City take from this defeat, and move on. Do City allow their minds to be affected, their mentality to be dented by this game, or they might think, okay, these are the lessons we learned. Our journey starts from today. We'll go on and see how we don't capture the Champions League and the Premier League. We'll go on and conquer both of them. That should be City's approach. That's what Pep will be telling them. Go on, attack, boys. Take on the opposition fullbacks. The worst thing is you lose the ball and the opposition might counter attack. Don't have that fear. We have two of the best defenders in the world. That's what Pep will tell his boys today. So I think overall, I was hurt by the manner, the way in which City lost, because it was just a small tactical tweak. It wasn't that Spurs won the game by outrightly beating City and all. Um, Gokul is another question. Bro, give Chelsea City prediction. Chelsea City prediction. I would say City to win 3-0 against Chelsea. City to win 3-0 against Chelsea, I would say. Because the thing is, why I'm telling 3-0 is Chelsea doesn't know how to sit in a low block. Like like how uh, like how Spurs sat, or like how a Man United can sit. Chelsea don't have the defense. If they sit in a low block, they'll be carved open. So it's gonna be an open game, end-to-end game, I would say. And out of the two teams, I think City has a much more better defense. City has a really good defense. So Chelsea City, I would say 3-0 is the prediction. That game also will be interesting because it will be fighting fire against fire. See, different kind of test for City, but then again the same thing. In the midfield, playing through midfield, how well are we? That is where that Chelsea game is also gonna be decided. Chelsea are not as good defensively, but you guys are really good on the attack. So it's gonna be attack v defense for both the teams. How will Chelsea defend and how will City defend? It will be end-to-end action, and looking forward to that game. So let's see how this journey of City continues in the Champions League match as well, which we have midweek, and we'll see in that game the tweaks which Pep makes and how much City have learned. Because right now the defense looks settled. City seem to just have problems in that midfield area. And I mean, it's not Rodri, but it's the way in which City are not able to get the ball back. That's what is what terrifying me. That's what is making me scared. Anyway, thank you all for the comments. It has been really great chatting with you all. Thank you, Countanya and Gokul, again for the comments. It's been wonderful chatting you all and giving you my opinion. And I really hope that you have enjoyed the show. If you have enjoyed the show, please click on the like button, and also do click on the bell icon and the subscribe button, so that you get messages, you get notifications whenever I put on new content. Also do check out my new Man City blog. The link is posted below. I'll be releasing a new blog in a couple of hours on this match. There'll be even more greater insight into it, how Pep really failed to challenge Jose, and also in the blog I'll talk about has the press conference, has what Jose said in the press conference about the doctor, about Raheem Sterling receiving preferential treatment from England. Has it got on to Pep? because Pep in the press conference said, I don't want to reply to what Jose says. So Jose Mourinho is beginning to play mind games. This shows me that he thinks that Spurs is ready now. Spurs is ready to challenge for the title, and he sees City as an important cog in this wheel which needs to be get rid of as soon as possible. He wants to damage the mentality of Pep and the players, and he wants to instigate that sort of a word war. He did it with Antonio Conte, and we know how it ended with Conte leaving Chelsea. And Pep is far more smarter. He has dealt with Jose before. So this is going to be another interesting mini battle as well. I'll talk about that in the blog as well. So thank you so much, guys, again for tuning in, and have a nice weekend. See you. Take care. Bye.